Hello, I'm Jeffrey C. Silvertooth. I'm the Associate Dean and the Director for Cooperative Extension at the University of Arizona. It's my pleasure to join you today, although virtually, for the annual Rangeland Partnerships meeting or conference that was scheduled for an in-person event on 30 March here in Tucson, Arizona. But with the recent COVID-19 situation, we all are adapting, including myself, to do things a little differently. And this is a nice opportunity to take advantage of the technology and some capacities we have to still be able to provide a few comments and a message to you today regarding cooperative extension at the University of Arizona. But let me start by saying the University of Arizona and cooperative extension has a deep and rich history, similar to any land-grant institution across the country, including the institutions from which many of you come from, both in terms of your background in academics and also where you are working today. So I'm sure you can appreciate the symmetry, what we have here in the University of Arizona to what we have in other states. All of us having common origins with the passage of the Morrill Act in 1862, the completion, the continuation of the formation of the land-grant institutions and the basic construct with the Hatch Act in 1887, and then finally the formal recognition and formulation of cooperative extension with the Smith-Lever Act in 1914. So we all have that common heritage. And what we all do state by state is we experience and we work with programs and operations that are unique to the state. And that's part of the genius of the cooperative extension model, in my view. And on top of that, we have offices associated with each of these land-grant institution cooperative extension systems, offices in every county of the state. We have 15 counties in the state of Arizona, and we have, as many of you do, and all of you do, I assume, across the country, offices in every county. We have offices in our experiment stations, and we also have representation in every department in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences here at the University of Arizona. So part of the genius of the system is to give us the capacity, the dexterity to adapt to the local conditions at the state level, which we all do from state to state, and also too within a state, the counties have the capacity to adapt programs that are unique and specific for those communities in those individual counties. And the counties then are able to adapt and develop programs that are unique for their own communities and their own specific local needs. So for example, we have programs in agricultural and natural resources, family consumer health sciences, and 4-H youth development in every part of the state. But how they manage and implement those programs can vary considerably from county to county, and sometimes with large counties as we have here in Arizona, we can have quite a bit of variation across a given county. Take, for example, in northeast Arizona, we have the Navajo Reservation that cuts across the northern major sections of Coconino, Apache, and Navajo counties. The southern part of the counties that are not on the reservation operate a little differently than how the reservations would operate. And our agents and staff that are working out, faculty and staff working out in the state, are able to modify their programs in relation to those communities. So that's an inherent piece of the cooperative extension system model that we employ in Arizona that's consistent with other states across the country, but we all do it a little differently. The University of Arizona actually began classes on the first day of October in 1891. And the state didn't become a full state until actually Valentine's Day in 1912. The Smith-Lever Act, of course, was passed in 1914. And before that time, extension activity has been taking place in Arizona. Another thing that was unique about the way the U of A, University of Arizona, began its development of cooperative extension in this land-grant model was associated with the College of Agriculture. For more than 100 years, cooperative extension in this university has been pretty much College of Agriculture centric. We now have a broader name of College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, and cooperative extension exists today in a division structure that consists of the College of Agriculture, Life Sciences, the College of Veterinary Medicine, and cooperative extension. It also consists of the Agriculture Experiment Station, considering as 4 separate pillars in this divisional construct. But our faculty, our programs are primarily oriented into the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences still today. And where we are today is looking to how can we expand our programs and our reach across the university. For example, Dr. George Rule is the co-director for the Natural Resource Users Law and Policy Center. That's an example of a partnership we formed with the College of Law and Cooperative Extension about 5 years ago to begin to develop this center to bring to bear the expertise in the College of Law on the natural resource users' issues and problems and challenges they were experiencing out in the state. There's a clinic in the law school that works in conjunction with our center. Dr. George Rule is a co-director along with Mr. John Lacey, who's an attorney and an adjunct professor in the College of Law. They together work on the development of a protocol and programs that bring to bear the expertise in the College of Law on natural resource issues out in the state. Dr. Rule, working out in the state in range and livestock programs, natural resource management, is in tune with the communities across the state where these issues are prevalent. They then bring these topics before it in front of the board and they vet them. They take those projects forward to a clinic, which George can describe the process to you more completely and in more detail, but it's a representation of our partnership in another segment of the community, the university community, that we've not had in the past. And it's a representation of a model that I'd like to see expanded at the University of Arizona in the future. If we had a broader, say, capacity financially, we could begin to partner with colleges of medicine, College of Engineering, business, education, etc. So there's a plethora of opportunity. But today our limitation primarily is capacity, and that's primarily financial capacity. Speaking of financial capacity, anybody who's listening to this that might be administratively oriented will be interested in knowing our primary foundation of our budget comes from appropriated sources from the state with $14.2 million, a separate state line item, and then that's supplemented with added to $1.9 million that we get allocated if we're doing things right through the feds, the Smith-Lever allocation on an annual basis. For $16.1 million of allocated funding today. And then we have about a $45 million operational base budget. That differential between $16.1 million and the $45 million in terms of operational budget is represented by external funding that we bring in. Faculty and staff do a great job here, as they do in many parts of the country, of working to bring in grants and contracts through active research and education programs. They sustain about 70% of the population and the whole organization on soft money. And we have the capacity then to adjust and shift program orientation depending on what the needs and problems are out in the state. But that's how we come up to the $45 million operational base budget on top of that appropriated base. That appropriated base is our foundation. That's the foundation funding that we have to bring in faculty, core faculty and staff, and then build upon that foundation. So it's incumbent upon us to deliver on our mission. And our mission is the same as it really began over 100 years ago. That is essentially to bring the university to the people and bring science to bear on practical problems. Now, as times have changed from the beginning times of the state of Arizona in the early 20th century and the territories in the late 19th century to where we are today in the early stages of the 21st century. We're still fundamentally doing that today. I think we're doing that everywhere across the country, but I can certainly attest to our situation in the University of Arizona and across the state of Arizona as how we bring our programs to bear on practical problems, and we strive to bring this university forward for the benefit of the people out in the state. That's what we've been doing, that's what we're doing today. I think that would be consistent with where this organization moves into the future. And as we move into the future, here I am making these comments to you for this conference at the last of March in 2020. Now, all of us know that in just the past few weeks, all of our lives have changed. A lot of the things that I would have said in these comments a month ago, 3 weeks ago, would be very different than what I have to offer to you today. And by the time you review this recording of my comments, it's very likely that I might be sitting there thinking, now the conditions have changed again. We're dealing with tremendous fluidity in the environment around us. So I would like to think we were in a position this year to maybe go to the legislature next year and ask for additional funding for cooperative extension, which we desperately need. However, in light of the certain circumstances that we're dealing with today, that all may need to change. It probably will change. In fact, we're probably looking at some major financial adjustments, not only with the situation at the University of Arizona, but also regionally and nationally with regard to our economy. Who knows where we'll end up with all of that, but here's what we will have. Cooperative extension has always been here. throughout many different changes and challenges in American society over the past 120 years. And the testimonies that I'm seeing today shows that the University of Arizona Cooperative Extension is healthy. We are able to respond. The people in the communities that are embedded there are responding, and they're stepping up and working with people. That'll be our forte in the future. We're going to use our new technologies as we are here today, and even older veterans like myself can learn and adapt. And that's another feature of this organization that I really appreciate. I appreciate all of you coming and spending the time with us in this conference. This is an important topic. Our range and livestock programs are important in this state in relation to the fact that most of our state, landscape-wise, is dominated by range and livestock operations of one kind and another. The work you do across the country, the Western partnerships, are extremely important. Being a native Oklahoman, growing up in the Great Plains and the high plains of the southern high plains, then coming to Arizona, I can appreciate the importance of grasslands, rangeland management, range and livestock systems together. And I appreciate the good work that you all do and this opportunity to visit with you. I hope this conference works out well for you. It's a good experience for us all to get a virtual experience in something like this, and probably some things we'll learn from the future. And probably some things we'll be able to incorporate and enhance our skill set as we move forward. Another feature of how we learn and adapt from the experiences that we have. So good luck with your conference. Thank you for inviting me to join you. And I hope the chance to see you literally at the next time we come around to a conference like this. But in the meantime, thank you very much. And from the University of Arizona Cooperative Extension, I am Dr. Jeffrey C. Silvertooth, and I thank you for your time.